Hey guys, Zeb Crawford here, COO of NuEthix Formulations. Welcome to the second episode of XYZ. I'm pumped to have Team NuEthix sponsored athlete, IFBB Pro, and Team Scoopy Prep coach Meghan Santa Barbara. Meghan, thank you so much for joining me.
Of course.
You're literally the first actual sponsored athlete, I believe, for NuEthix. You're a coach, a competitor at the pro level now, and then just an overall inspiration. So just appreciate you being on here and just kind of chatting with me a little bit.
Yeah.
No further ado, I just want to jump into some questions just so, again, we can learn a little bit more about you. So if you could walk me through a typical day's workout routine.
My training is centered around lower body development right now. I actually don't even train upper body. So I train.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. I train legs 3 times a week. I separated out quads, hamstrings, and then glutes. And I do cardio about 3 to 4 times a week just for cardiovascular health benefits, not really weight loss right now. But just focusing on lowering my muscle mass up top and just developing my glutes and hamstrings a little bit more so I can hopefully be competitive with those wellness stallions. They're pretty crazy up there right now. So definitely.
It's been super intriguing to watch you go from the past few years, like you said, being a pro competitor and, going in there and rack deadlifting, 300 pounds and doing some of these crazy, even like me, I'm like, man, I don't even know if I could do that right now. And then now, like you said, hitting legs 3 days a week, which is probably honestly something like me and some, other guys that have, taller, longer legs should be doing. So it's been super interesting and intriguing to watch that. I know Ambria too, my wife, she's always kind of just watching and borderline creeping to see what you're doing and seeing if she can mimic some of your things.
I love that.
Really, really cool. Yeah. With that, what type of diet, again, has that changed, or is there a certain diet that you kind of stick to?
I'd say when I kind of transitioned away from competing and actively competing, I went from more of that bro bodybuilding diet to more just whole food. I do a lot of plant-based protein now, like a lot of tofu, tempeh, stuff like that actually. But my nutrition is kind of just focused on the smallest ingredient list possible. I try to eliminate any processed foods, things that are in boxes or pre-cooked meals. I'm kind of a stickler on that. I don't like all the artificial nonsense, which is why I like NuEthix. But I eat a ton of fruits and vegetables. My protein kind of comes from a mix, like I said, the tofu, but I also eat a lot of steak, bison. I like the gamey kind of veal, things like that. But my fat sources, I'd say I love to eat a jar of peanut butter a day, but I can't. So the fats kind of comes from the meats that I eat, avocados, olive oil, things like that, just anti-inflammatory foods, I think. And I found that my blood sugar is a little more stable with just focusing on the fruits, sweet potatoes. I eat a lot of quinoa and beans and legumes. So I haven't really eaten a lot of chicken, rice, broccoli meals. Nothing like that anymore. It's more nutrient dense. So that's the only change.
No, that's intriguing. Yeah. And again, I'm the same way. If I could eat peanut butter with every meal or just go through it, it would be the same thing.
Yeah.
I
could go through a jar. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'll build my plan, build out my things. And I'm I'm just going to throw. And it's I'm I don't even know why I set the amount the way I do in my plan, because I'm always going over.
Yeah.
That's interesting, again, too, on the gamey stuff, because I know a lot of times, again, bringing up Ambria, because she's been experimenting a lot more lately and kind of just being a little more open and not truly measuring and following things. And I know recently she's tried a little bit more, like you said, bison and gamey, more things. And usually she's not into it, but I think she's starting to kind of branch out and find some different sources of protein that she does like.
That's good. Yeah. I prefer it.
Yeah. I mean, I've always thought it was great. Yeah. Especially to get away from the typical, like people say, rice,
dry chicken.
Yeah. Yeah, because it gets real old real quick when you're doing chicken all the time. So.
Yeah, for sure.
You mentioned again, obviously, like NuEthix and why we're on here. So how do you incorporate our products into your fitness and diet routine? Obviously, I see you share a lot of times. I think even like this morning or last night, you've been doing like our collagen new youth
Yes.
or your
Yeah.
smoothie. So that's one I always
Yes.
see.
I actually started taking that daily, I believe like 2 months ago daily. I was kind of like inconsistent with it, but then every morning I have like a collagen smoothie and I feel like my skin's gotten clearer, my hair's gotten stronger, and it's just been a game changer. And it's just an easy way to get in that, like, I think it's like 18 grams of protein, like right off the bat.
Yeah.
And I usually do a scoop and a half, but so I use that every day in the morning. I always have my three go-tos for the morning are like New Multi, my GDA-Max, and my Thyro-Boost. And then I've also been utilizing Gourmet Greens a lot this summer just to get in a little more micronutrients throughout the day. And then besides that, I used to use the protein a lot, but I've been kind of sticking to more like whole food sources for
Yeah.
protein, and then obviously the collagen powder. But that's also like always a go-to for me too. The only protein I can really digest.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's usually what I use. Obviously Cort-Eaze, but that's just a lifesaver for me right now.
I feel like that's kind of a staple for most people. I mean, again, it's our top seller, but it's just one of those to where I ask people of, especially in the past 2 years, of like who hasn't been a little more stressed or who hasn't, wish they slept a little more better. I mean, again, whether you've dealt with, the pandemic or working remote and you're not used to it, or kids or just new things going on, I think everyone could probably control their cortisol a little more.
For sure.
So that's great. And I know, like you mentioned, Gourmet Greens, I was talking to other athlete, Dominic, and that was one thing he brought up was how much Gourmet Greens and Flora Protect added in have been a game changer for like his gut health and like his digestion and stuff. So I thought that was super intriguing because again, same, you guys both have done a lot with, competing and diet changes and things like that. So that's really cool to kind of be able to pass along to people and like what that can do by just incorporating like a good solid greens like into their daily habit. So
for sure. Awesome. And the new product, Prosorb, the magnesium. Yeah, I know it's recent, it's new, but definitely taking that every night when I get home from the gym has helped tremendously with my stress levels too, and just kind of calming down after the gym for sure.
That's great. So. That's great feedback. Yeah, because I know I haven't really even got to dig into that. I know Amber has just started it, but that's
yeah.